All right, yeah, I'm live. I think I'm live, right? Mic check, 1, 2. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I think this is the first time I've ever gone live by myself. And this is because I have all these posts, all this insanity stacked up in my Instagram saved folder. And it was just way too much to constantly be posting to my story and explain and laugh at and talk about. So I just figured I'd do it here. Maybe I'll do it more often. Maybe I'll just go through my regular Instagram feed because it's absolutely insane. I have curated it to the point where it's like quite literally 50% based and on the verge of being banned, and then 50% left-wing maniacs trying to get those people banned. So, yeah, first and foremost, I have, well, I guess if by some chance you were seeing this on YouTube and not following me on Instagram, then you got to go ahead and do that. At Report and Opine, very serious stuff. They are throttling my account, the ever-popular shadow ban, they're removing followers, all sorts of things. But look at some of these. I mean, these are some posts that I've saved in the last week or so. And of course, anybody who follows this content, my content, over on Instagram where I'm most active, you will know that I have a very serious bone to pick with the New York City Health Department. And they posted this today, only a couple hours ago. NYC Healthy is just pure propaganda, right? These people have done nothing but politicize the stupid virus and politicize monkeypox and politicize racism and politicize climate change. I'm not joking. If you scroll through this NYC Healthy Instagram account, you will see them talking about how buildings in New York are not climate friendly and communities of color get the worst of it or something like that. Let me see here. There we go. I'll move. There we go. All right. Yeah. So I don't know exactly how much of this I can actually say because, of course, the powers that be over at YouTube won't let you talk about much either. But that's the world we live in now, I guess. And updated. COVID-19 boosters now available for children 5 and older. Oh, it just never stops. And there's some spicy comments on the side that I won't read, but, you know, get a grip, NYC. I totally 100% agree with that. I mean, let's just take a look here. Look at what these people are posting, right? I mean, health equity. I didn't even catch this one. This is the first time I'm seeing this one. Health equity means making sure that there are conditions for optimal health and well-being for all people. Health equity is achieved when no one is kept from reaching their highest level of health because of social. I mean, this is pure. I mean, it's just unadulterated propaganda. I don't even know how these people sleep with themselves. I mean, the MPX stuff, propaganda. The following people are eligible to get the MPV vaccine. It's like, what? Who? Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. You're preaching to the choir. I guess I'm probably preaching to the abyss right now if there's nobody actually watching this. But doesn't matter. It'll be up. I'll keep it up until, I will actually strong arm people into watching my live streams now, just like the federal government and these weirdo state and city officials have strong armed people into getting this stupid pharmaceutical. Speaking of stupid, and again, these are posts that I've saved, right? That I've saved over the past couple days, maybe a week, just to vent about. And I think I will also scroll through my feed as it appears live, like quite literally. So I don't know what's gonna pop up. Well, I have an idea because I know who I'm following. Like I said, I've curated it perfectly to get like a 50-50 split of common sense and insanity. So this woman here who at one point in my life I thought was actually funny. Maybe she was funny at one point. Maybe I was just in the Matrix. Who knows? Doesn't really matter. But now, and she's always, just for the record, she has always been a shill for Hillary Clinton. If you remember Broad City, she literally did like a whole skit about how cool Hillary Clinton was. Her name is Ilana. Listen to this.
Not nothing. It's like, who are you voting for? Are you voting early? Are you voting absentee? Are you voting in person? Like, make a voting plan today.
She took her shirt off.
Ooh, make a voting plan, bitch.
This is insane. This is insane. I saw the visuals, but didn't actually.
Have you made a voting plan yet? Because it's not nothing.
It's insane. She literally just took her shirt off and is I mean, she has a kid, by the way. Not that it really matters, but link in bio to check your voter registration and make a voting plan, as she literally dances around topless, because this is just how stupid they think you are. And unfortunately, I don't want to say there's a lot of people who are this stupid, but there must be some, right? I guess it works kind of between that and just some other unsavory methods of getting people to vote. And of course, I am, not 100% sold that voting is even real. It's kind of like I've gone, done a complete 360 from when I was a kid, and I would say that voting didn't matter, kind of maybe as a teenager, because I just thought it was cool. And then I thought it was really serious. And then as I got older, I realized, oh, they're just going to do what they want anyways. And we see that with these Supreme Court decisions, right? A whole bunch of these states or cities or whatever say they're, I guess with the Roe v. Wade thing, it's not really the same, but with this gun control stuff, they're just saying, oh, we're still not gonna, let you apply for, we're still not gonna give you a concealed carry. And they don't care what happens. They know as well as I know that quite literally, for lack of a better term, they are above the law. But let's see what else we got here. Mayor Adams to push NYC trash placement to nighttime hours. I mean, it's obviously, New York is all garbage. It's all garbage 24/7, 7 days a week, or I guess 24/7, 365 is what I'm trying to say. It's all garbage. They're never going to fix anything. And just like in California, these politicians, these completely corrupt politicians, somehow figure out a way to blame the opposition for their problems, even though the quote opposition party hasn't been in power for decades. So I don't even know how they're still getting away with that. But I know I know far too much about New York City trash, and it's only gotten worse, which, I mean, for the record, you should definitely buy my book, New York City 2020. Let's see if I can pull that tab up. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, you can go ahead and buy this book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, hardcover, by yours truly. So yes, I am 100% an expert, an authority on all New York City garbage, and unfortunately, from what I'm told, it's only gotten worse since I've left the city. Like all the time, I kind of want to think that, okay, maybe it's gonna get better. Like, it's going to get better. Like, I'm having, like, this weird bit of FOMO. Like, oh, as soon as I leave, everything's going to get better. But as I understand it, talking to some people, it hasn't gotten any better. And I said a long time ago, actually, before I even left New York, that it was going to take a decade to clean up if they started in October 2020. If they played their cards, if they did everything properly, starting in October 2020, it would still take a decade to clean up that city. And of course, they haven't. It's only gotten worse. They're making even worse decisions. But that's because they don't actually want to solve the problems. They want to continue to tear it down and gain complete control to the point where it is quite literally a playground for the rich. And you either live in a penthouse on the top floor or you live under the Williamsburg Bridge, which is honestly not far from the truth. But moving on to some more of these saved posts. Again, I was just saying, like, these were just getting backed up. I was like, dude, do I post these to my story? Like, what do I actually do with this? There's just so much insanity. So this is how I'm choosing to vent all of it. San Francisco appears to have descended into a city of chaos. Some tech CEO said. Cotopaxi. I don't even know what Cotopaxi is. But well, I mean, where have you been, bro? San Francisco was worse. I mean, San Francisco has been, I guess it has gotten worse, okay? So it has descended further into chaos, but I promise you, I left San Francisco many years ago, and it was pretty bad. I can't even explain some of the terrible things I saw. I actually saw worse things in San Francisco than I ever saw in New York, but I lived in San Francisco for much longer. So welcome to the party. Give this guy a late pass. Of course, San Francisco has descended into chaos, and they too have no plans to stop it. And of course, the plan is to make it worse while pretending that it's somebody else's fault. Meanwhile, they're going to... Every problem, every solution to all of their problems is to ask for more money that, of course, will never get to the people or things that actually need it. It just gets filtered through the pockets of some weirdo bureaucrats until there's nothing left and there's a whole bunch of people self-vaccinating under the Bay Bridge. Okay, so yeah, I did a Kanye video a couple days ago or a day or two ago. I don't even remember, but apparently TMZ, who of course just works for the establishment, shills, Hollywood nonsense, they are reporting that Candace Owens and Drink Champs could be pulled into a $250 million lawsuit. And on the bright side, some of the comments can see right through this. Can't sue for freedom of speech. Floyd family doesn't have a leg to stand on. Apparently you haven't seen all the receipts. Candace the GOAT. Who can I sue about lying to me about COVID? So yeah, people seem to get it. But this is so obviously exactly what they wanted after they pulled that stunt with Alex Jones. Oh, he owes $965 million. Okay, well that's made up, right? Even if Alex Jones has been doing a radio show for decades. He's a very popular guy, but anybody who believes that Alex Jones just has $965 million in liquid cash sitting under his bed or whatever to pay these families off, it doesn't make any sense. They were clearly just trying to set an example, and in record time, I mean, a number of days, probably less than a week, they go after Kanye. I mean, it's so obvious that they're trying to get people for wrong think. And this isn't new, right? Like, we know that they will take you down from social media, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff for saying the wrong thing. Okay, fair enough. But now they're saying, you owe us money. You owe us money because you don't believe what we're telling you. And it doesn't make any sense. And for the record, Nori, I mean, Kanye kind of defended Nori, but he's a stooge. He's a puppet. I like Nori. I like Drink Champs. I think it's a decent show. They have fun. But he was ready to go on his apology tour and say how sorry he was for letting Kanye speak his mind, because we all know that is, that's against the rules. I mean, again, it's like, what's the guy's, Bishop Talbert's, whatever his name is, everybody's talking about this tweet that's going around about how he's, just bad-mouthing white people, and his tweet gets to live on. And of course, we know that if Kanye had said what he said about the Jewish population, but about regular white people, I guess, then there would have been no problem. There would have been no uproar. There would have been, they would have been clapping like seals from the crowd. So this is an absolute mess. I guess I don't know a better way to describe it than just clown world, right? That's all this is. Moving on. Question of the day from NBC Bay Area. What do you think about San Francisco spending $1.7 million on a public toilet? I think it's exactly what I said a moment ago. Their solution is always to ask for more money, and that money, of course, will never get to where they claim it's going to go. It's going to get filtered through the pockets of bureaucrats all over the place. Ask Mohamed Nuru. I'm sure, you may or may not be familiar with Mohamed Nuru, the corrupt Public Works Department director, former Public Works Department director, who was literally tasked. His job was to keep the streets clean, and I don't want to say he failed because he wasn't trying to keep the streets clean, but San Francisco notoriously had a poop problem and a poop patrol, and the guy who was supposed to take care of that was indicted by the FBI for taking bribes and wire fraud and all sorts of stuff. So, moving on. The Bay Area is an absolute mess. New Jersey joins New York in defying the SCOTUS decision upholding the right to bear arms. See, this is what I'm talking about here. So, these weirdo radical states that want you to obey everything they say, you got to go get the shot. You got to wear a mask. You got to do this. You got to do that. When one decision doesn't go their way, they're just going to say, oh, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. We don't care what you say. But if the ruling had gone another way and another state said, we're not going to do that, it would be, look, we all know about the dead hypocrisy horse that we've been beating into a paste for some years now, but there's really no solution, right? You can't just stop talking about it because that's what they want, and then they win. And they really want you to stop talking about it. That's why they constantly censor and ban and shadow ban and all sorts of things, is because they don't want any conversation about these things, and they'll do what they want. They will do what they want at any given time. We're just going to ignore the Supreme Court. Doesn't matter to us, right? So they're letting you know. It's always a slap in the face. They're letting you know that you can just ask Hunter Biden. They're gonna let you know up front and center that they have the right of way here, and you will be deemed an extremist. You might rot away in jail. You might be given fraudulent time, all because you chose not to agree with one of their incredibly strange positions. In fact, all of their positions are strange. I can't think of one thing that the establishment left has done that's good. Everybody wants to talk about, oh, well, he's pardoning weed offenders, which, of course, was basically fake news built to gin up voters ahead of the midterms. And then some other people were saying that, some of these weirdo Democrats, like Scott Wiener in San Francisco, of course, was trying to legalize mushrooms or something. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's cool. That's so libertarian of you, like legal mushrooms. But it's like he's doing that because they do that because they want you as clouded and confused as humanly possible. It's not like, hey, we really like freedom and we like these people and we want them to be able to make their own decisions. No, they're going to push you towards all of these substances so you become, just a shell of yourself. And that's why they always push the pharmaceuticals as well.
Do you now regret?
So Kanye is apologizing. I actually haven't watched this one. Again, I saw the text, but I didn't listen to it. So apparently Kanye is now apologizing to Piers Morgan. I'm surprised we're even at a point where he can still go on a show. Like, you can't even go on Piers Morgan because you said something about someone and George Floyd is really sad. It's like none of this makes any sense. So let's listen. This will be the first time I'm actually listening to Ye's apology.
Regret saying DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Are you sorry you said that?
No.
I think it matters. You should be.
Absolutely not.
You should be.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, but you should be.
Absolutely not.
When you insult the Jewish people and say you're going DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people, that is as racist as anything you say you've been through and any pain that you've experienced. It's the same thing. Racism is racism. And you know that, I think, don't you?
Yeah, obviously. That's why I said it.
So you said it knowing it's racist?
Yes. I fought fire with fire.
Okay.
I'm not here to get hosed down.
At least that's
a
honest.
Different type of freedom fighter. I will say I'm sorry for the people that I hurt with the DEFCON, the confusion that I call. I feel like I caused hurt and confusion. And I'm sorry for the families of the people that had nothing to do with the trauma that I had been through, and that I use my platform where you say hurt people. And I was hurt.
Do you know?
All right, so it wasn't really an apology. It was like, I'm sorry you felt that way, which is cool. That's exactly what he should have done. So this outlet, Hollywood Unlocked, wants to make it seem for some reason like he's apologized, and this has been posted by D.L. Hughley from Hollywood Unlocked, and I can't stand D.L. Hughley. He is an absolute puppet of the establishment, and he. Let me stop there because I don't want to get my channel banned before it even gets off the ground. Moving on. Okay, so this I remember I saved this. There's this guy, this one comment, this blue check comment, another great issue, I guess. Another great issue, thank you. Which is absolute crazy. I mean, this is insanity. This is New York Magazine trying to hype up John Fetterman and make him seem like he's a good candidate for. I mean, these are just. I just don't understand how anybody can't see like how transparent this entire thing is, right? Like, oh, this photo of John Fetterman, this up close photo of John Fetterman. He had a stroke 6 months ago, and that makes him more relatable. It's absolute insanity. Like, how do you not see this? You even have the Washington Compost, who wrote an editorial saying that he's not really all there. NBC, I mean, regular mainstream left-wing hacks are like, whoa, this guy can't even talk. But New York Mag, who I guess is just, I mean, I don't know how. First of all, your New York, I mean, it's literally called New York Magazine, so I don't know why they're really weighing in on what's happening in Pennsylvania, but that we're splitting hairs at that point. For them to put out this puff piece inside this year's highest stakes Senate race, I mean, this is actually pure evil what they're trying to do. Like, of course, the establishment, which NY Mag is part of, right? Like, the political establishment, the media establishment are one awful, incestuous cesspool of corrupt hacks. But they're trying to make this guy out to be some sort of hero. Even before John Fetterman became the Democratic nominee for Pennsylvania's open U.S. Senate seat, one of the pivotal few that could flip from Republican control if he beats his opponent Mehmet Oz, who we know is not great either. Where was I? He had attained a folkloric statue. He was 6'8", bald, bearded, and almost always in a hoodie. It's because he's covering up the tennis ball growing out of his neck. He had a Harvard postgraduate degree and a home in a converted auto dealership across from a steel mill in Braddock, the struggling former steel town in western Pennsylvania where he'd been mayor from 2006 to 2019. He was a Democrat who defied the right-wing caricatures of the contemporary left as elite and effete and out of touch, whatever. Self-evidently, none of those things. Then on May 13th, he had a stroke 4 days after doctor removed a clot that would have killed him. He won the Democratic primary. I'm so profoundly grateful, Fetterman says, but running for the Senate in the biggest race in the country and having to recover at the same time is unprecedented. Lots about Fetterman feels unprecedented. Like, it was a year ago, it was 2 years, however long ago, the last 3 years seem to blur together with all this Rona nonsense and monkeypox and racism and propaganda and all this stuff, which I'm sure has been going on for decades, perhaps longer, but it only got, they overplayed the hand with the Rona stuff. But we were told that, straight white men, this and that. It's like, but now this is the only guy you got? This is what you got, a guy who had a stroke and can't put a sentence together, because that's what we need is more incoherent babble in this government and these positions of quote unquote power. I mean, this is absolutely through the roof, and it doesn't stop, because there's another one from The Cut. Now, this was posted by Stacey Abrams with a photo shoot she did with The Cut that I think is linked to New York Magazine, or it might be the New Yorker or something. But I mean, look at these propaganda pieces, and this is, I guess this is still working on some people, which is insane. Hold on, I'm gonna try to post an Instagram story and see if somebody will join the stream here. Okay. Let's see if this works. All right. Hang on one second. I'm talking about Stacey Abrams and trying to make an Instagram post. All right. All right, we'll see if that works. See if anybody shows up. But yeah, so you look at this magazine cover of John Fetterman, and then you look at this magazine cover of Stacey Abrams, and it's just, it's absolutely despicable. We saw, I think, Dr. Fauci on the cover of magazines. This is what they do. They've been doing it for so long. I think more and more people are starting to, quote unquote, wake up. It's just these weird pockets, obviously, in California and New York, maybe Chicago, Wisconsin, I don't know. But, you know, I did a lot of road tripping over the past couple of years, and I can pretty much guarantee you that when you talk to regular people, I mean, just literally, like, when you go get your oil changed and see somebody in the lobby, or I remember specifically talking to somebody I was working out at a gym, and the guy came in to, like, fix the TVs or program the TV remotes, and we just started. It's like nobody believes this stuff. There are very few people that believe this stuff. It's only people who are completely unaware and just eat what they're fed, and then people who can see through it. There's nobody who's going to sit down and say, I like John Fetterman because of this. I like Stacey Abrams because of this. Or even Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. It's just, this is what I've been told, and I don't know anything else. But nobody has a good thing to say about any of them. It's either bad or indifferent. You're just a weirdo cog in the machine, robot, zombie, mask-wearing loser is basically what it is. Okay,
I'm out here walking with
and this one's almost worse. No, this one is worse than the magazine covers, because they bring in a washed up B-grade celebrity rapper to shill for Stacey Abrams. And I did watch this, and I saved this, I don't know, maybe a week or so ago, or 4 days ago. So this is worse than the magazine covers. Check it out.
Coming in, we're knocking on doors.
Yes.
And we just came across a voter who was a little reluctant.
She was reluctant, but Mo made a call to Stacey Abrams, and Stacey talked to her.
Hi, Stacey. I wanted you to talk to Pat because we're standing at her door, and she was a little bit reluctant to vote because she said she hadn't heard from folks. Pat, this is Stacey.
Hi, how are you? I'm great.
This is absolutely despicable. This woman who is like, I'm not really rocking with y'all. So they confront her with a TV crew and a washed up rapper and call Stacey Abrams on the phone to convince her to vote for her, I guess.
I know that the last time you ran, I was familiar with that. And I just know I've not heard anything or seen anyone until I got a large crew of people here today. Oh, I feel like I need to cook something right now.
So first of all, I apologize. I will tell you that
So corny.
for my campaign, what we've been trying to do is we had to build the resources so we could get people out to knock the doors. But you should have gotten at least one piece of mail from me already. And I will say this, unless you are a regular voter.
I've not voted in forever. I won't say forever. No. I lost all hope.
She lost all hope.
When did you lose hope?
Oh, it's been a minute.
Because you guys are scumbags and you've been scamming everybody for decades now. So she's not really rocking with it. She just wants to go to work and go home and do her best. And you guys are trying to basically ruin her life, I'm almost certain, with all your restrictions. And now you're coming around and pretending like you're going to save her with a washed up rapper.
Hear me out.
And for the record, you're not even there. You're just on the phone. And I don't know who thought this up, but it's absolutely despicable.
I apologize for us not reaching out sooner, but I hope you know that we are reaching out sincerely. I want you to know that the reason, not only that I ran 4 years ago, but the reason that in the intervening 4 years, I didn't just sit down. Mm-hmm. I started an organization to protect the right to vote. We created an organization. We paid off the medical debts of 68,000 people that we could find. I put Wi-Fi devices in communities that didn't have the internet. I've been as visible since I didn't actually have a political job, but I've been doing the work for the last 4 years, and I would be honored to have your vote.
Yeah.
I hope that you will look at my record. Forgive how late I'm coming to the party, but know that I intend to show up always, and that I want to do this job because I don't want you to lose hope again. I want your help and I want your vote.
Okay.
And hopefully this voter will go out and vote, man.
Common, bro. What a weasel, bro. Like, are these guys that desperate that they're shilling for politicians? I mean, are we really to believe that he's just doing this out of the goodness of his heart and there's no money being exchanged? It's like, bro, make another album, make a movie. You were doing good, you were successful, and now you're shilling for Stacey Abrams in Georgia, and I'm pretty sure Common is not from Georgia.
She was seemed like a good woman, and she really had real concerns. And Stacey broke it down and it just showed me, man, that's the type of leader I want. Like, I was like, yeah.
No, that's the type of leader I want. Man, get out of here, bro. These so disgusting, man. These like weird, like they truly, I think the worst part about it is how stupid they think we are, bro. Like, yeah, this is a leader I really want. Like, she broke it down. No, she didn't. She just told her, oh, I put Wi-Fi in the house. No, you didn't. Like, stop. Go check my record. Okay, let's go check. Should we check it right now? Should we check Stacey Abrams' record right now? What could she possibly have done? I mean that honestly. Stacey Abrams' record on the Google search. It's a PDF. Oh, look at this. This photo is from 2002. Stacey Y. Abrams is the House Minority Leader for the Georgia General Assembly and State Representative for the 89th District. She's the first woman to lead either party in Georgia. This is all a scam. I don't even. Of course, it's written. I don't know. And of course, this is just Google stuff. Like, you can't trust Google itself as far as you can throw them. And every single weirdo, fake news website is going to be tough to choose either. So that might be a deeper dive.
I'm out here walking with Common, and we're knocking on doors.
We already watched this, but at the end, he just continues to, oh, she's so awesome. No, she's not, bro. You're a loser, and maybe we should check your records to see how much she paid you for this nonsense. What's next? Why are the kids so sad? Again, from New York Magazine. Well, I have a theory. I mean, at least in the past 3 years, you have been torturing everybody with your weirdo mandates and fear-mongering that everybody's going to die, you're going to kill grandma, the air outside the front door is deadly, so that might have something to do with it. I don't know, just a guess, right? Like, we're not sure why they're so sad. Depression and anxiety and suicides are up. Just don't blame technology. No, I'm not blaming technology. I'm blaming this weirdo establishment that has put the fear of God into everybody for no reason, and then slowly kind of took their foot off the gas, only to switch it with monkeypox or switch it with polio in an effort to maintain control at any given time. And then you wonder, why are the kids sad? It's because you've been manipulating them with Rona propaganda, transgender nonsense, trying to tell them, oh, are you confused yet? It's puberty. It's confusing. It happens, right? Like, this is so evil. All of this stuff is so evil, and that's why otherwise it would just it's been driving me crazy for a long time, so that's why we're on this stream. We just need to get more people on the stream. Well, I got to figure that out. Anybody with any suggestions on how to get more people in the stream, let me know. But NY Mag asking this smug question about why the kids are so sad when they know exactly why. At least they know part of it. Of course, sometimes kids are going to be sad. Sometimes adults are going to be sad. Sometimes people are going to be sad. But after 3 years of nonstop fear-mongering propaganda and transgender, transformer, ideology, of course they're gonna be sad, right? You try to break up their families, you try to get them to fight with each other. If one person in 2018, if one person out of a 6-person family or a 5-person family decided that maybe Donald Trump wasn't that bad, they would be shunned. And I mean, you're asking questions that you obviously know the answer to, and then they type up this long caption: America's kids are not all right. In August, the New York Times published, quote, The Inner Pandemic, a multi-part project on adolescent mental health. So, you know it's a mental health issue, but let me keep going, which has reached crisis levels. It's always a crisis. It's always life and death, right? If you don't wear a mask, you're going to kill grandma. If you don't get the shot, you're going to kill grandma. If you drive a car, then the sun monster, climate change, global warming is going to kill you. If you don't want these kids to slice off their body parts, then they're going to kill. It's always life and death. It's absolutely ridiculous. In addition to higher rates of anxiety and depression, suicides have been increasing since 2007, passing homicide as the second leading cause of death for those 10 to 24. Because the youth mental health crisis has been concurrent with certain developments in consumer electronics and internet advertising. Yeah, sure, blame it on the internet, but I guess it is partly the internet, but not perhaps in the way they think. And yeah, sure, there's a lot of unrealistic beauty standards and all that sort of thing, but I can pretty much guarantee you that's been going on for far longer than you've been telling kids that they were going to die if they didn't wear a mask outside the house. So, and that anytime they feel uncomfortable, that they should, probably see a doctor about how to get rid of a certain body part. And we all know, it goes without saying, but if you go into a doctor, if you call one of these weirdo ideologues and say, my left arm, it feels weird. It feels like it's not supposed to be there. Just go ahead and get rid of it. They would never do that. But if you say that you want to get rid of your junk, or maybe the breasts that you've been developing under those baggy clothes over summer, those are making you feel uncomfortable, then we can definitely go ahead and get rid of those. So between the Rona stuff, the transgender stuff, the climate stuff, it's just nonstop. And you're like, why are they sad? It's because you've been filling their head with nonsense instead of just telling them to, take it in stride. And I don't know. Go to a movie, go to the mall. I don't even know what kids do now. They just have iPads, I guess. But this is all of this stuff is just so sad, and not in the way they're thinking, not like this article says, but sad in the way that you guys are so manipulative and so evil, and you have such little regard for people's, well-being. And the gaslighting, again, I said in a other video that, gaslighting is overused, but I think in some cases it's still necessary. The Oakland Police Department looked into acquiring robots with shotguns. I don't really have an explanation for this one. I think it was just funny because let's see. Let's click the slide.
In Oakland, want to add a new tool: robots with shotguns. A live round can go in, absolutely, and you'd be getting a shotgun round.
Now, as first reported by local reporter Omar Yassin, as well as The Intercept, an Oakland Police Committee subcommission has been discussing adding the option to shoot projectiles to a remote-controlled robot. It would be similar to the robot used by Dallas police back in 2016 to kill the man suspected of shooting and killing 5 police officers. Police commissioners seemed skeptical about the idea.
It's a lot easier to just pull out a rifle or a gun and shoot somebody than it is to put a live round into this thing. But I think we are all concerned about the dystopian
pretty dark
sort of universe where a robot sneaks into our room and shoots us, which I know is not the intention, but certainly is a scary thought.
In Oakland, want to add a new...
Does it go on? Okay. The Oakland Police Department says it's no longer interested in, okay, so it's not going to, it's a little bit too dystopian, a little bit too dark, so they're not going to do it. But I'm pretty sure Oakland hates police, right? You don't want police anyways. You don't want to be safe. Just leave your door open, like, come on, man. It's Oakland is a utopia. I don't even know why you guys have police at all. You don't even need them. Gunna's case judge threatens to arrest rapper's family as they walk out. This one, I was going to read the article, and I never did. But I do know that Vlad, Fed Vlad, is a shill for the establishment, so he's probably going to have... I mean, I guess we could read the article. It doesn't really matter, though. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, yeah, here we go. Vice. Of course, Vice. Doubling our rates for cream pie scenes. Sex workers on life after Roe. So Vice is just, I always debate whether it's Vice, whether it's Vox, whether it's the Daily Beast, which is the worst of these weird millennial clickbait rags. I think Vice News might actually be taking the cake. Vice News, whatever. It's definitely not news. But first off, sex workers, right? So you mean a hooker, right? Like they all, it's constantly with the manipulation of words, right? Like, oh, birthing person, undocumented people. I mean, the list goes on and on. Maybe I should do a list. Maybe I'll make a long list of all the weirdo euphemisms that we've been fed over the past 5 or so years. But they're talking about doubling their rates because they can't get an abortion. I mean, how dark does this get, right? Like, if you're going to be in that line of work, you would think that there would be some other fail-safes to the point where you aren't constantly getting pregnant. I mean, I'm just saying, right? Like, before Roe got overturned and the big scary extremist Supreme Court said, hey, maybe this should go back to the states, were you just getting an abortion after what? This is insane, and that's why Vice is absolute garbage. And they used to, back in the day, like when I was in college, they used to, maybe I just didn't realize it at that time, but it seemed to be, for lack of a better term, anti-establishment. Now they are 100% the establishment, but they pretend to be edgy. But this is basically them saying, yeah, we should definitely make sure that prostitution is legal and we need to kill more babies. That's what they're saying. That's 100% the establishment left position, and that's what they're doing. It used to, I think, again, I don't know. There's no way for me to go back and figure it out. But at the time, and some years ago, it seemed like they were actually outside of the box. But now they're totally in it, just trying to be with the racy headlines, trying to pretend like it's edgy, but it's really just, establishment propaganda. The day the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade was also the day porn star Siri Dahl started limiting how often she'd allow. Oh, my word. This is disgusting. These people are absolutely disgusting. And next.
Una mujer buchona tendría que tener
women in Mexico are dying to
muy
look
buen
like
busto, muy buenas pompas, delgada, o si no, como una muy buena curvy.
The term buchona was first popularized in Sinaloa, Mexico, as a way to refer to the gaudy women romantically tied to narcos. But now it has come to describe a body type as well, which represents status and power in an aspirational drug culture.
Wow, they definitely got a looker. They got the best of the bunch to report on this one. I mean, I can't imagine she's jealous at all while she's reporting this, or they, or shim, them. I don't know.
These bodies cannot be achieved in the gym. The point is that they look paid for and are a display of the women's or their man's wealth. A woman who asked to be called Kendra and told us what a typical female figure of that type needs.
Y explícanos qué cambiaste de tu cuerpo y cómo te sientes ahora.
Yo me hice una lipoescultura hace algunos años. Me quitaron grasa del abdomen.
Okay, so they're mad about plastic surgery. It seems like, oh, this is extravagant and these, you know, it's unrealistic. But meanwhile, they will also promote, you know, transgender immigrants from Venezuela or whatever. Oh, more from Vox here. More people, more young people using drugs because life sucks. Now, this is very similar to the why are kids so sad? It's because you've been manipulating them and poisoning their brains with propaganda for years, and they're like, oh, well, life sucks. Like, what, guys? Like, there must be a better way to frame this. More young people are using drugs, and for the record, Vice is the publication that used to promote drugs so hard. Like, this is what happened when we took 30 ecstasy tablets and drank 6 beers. Like, listen to this story. It's like, dude, you guys did this. You were literally, like Homer Simpson once said, you were the cause of and solution to all the problems. And of course, we know that, right? The snake. Oh, what? I'm gonna butcher that saying, but he who sells the cure gave you the illness, or something like that, right? Like they create the problems that only they can fix, and they're just so curious. Oh, young people are taking drugs. Why are they so sad? Because you have been manipulating them and corrupting them for decades now, and there's really no way to go back and figure out like how long we've all been victim of this, or when people pop out of it. Maybe they hit 30 and they pop out of it. Maybe they don't. There's still a whole bunch of crazy people. We see these videos all the time of these people who can't. Remember that video, that viral video, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, the guy standing outside of Trump Tower, and they say he has a sign, you know, Trump should be arrested, and the guy asks him why he should be arrested, and he's like, no, this is over. It's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, then we get to all the other posts. These are like the Kanye stuff, for the video I made about why Kanye West is the culture warrior that we need. I believe it's the last video on my feed, so go ahead and check that out. Oh, okay, here. Actually, you know what? There's a couple more. From the Daily Beast. This, and I talked about this in an Alt Reporter video. Shout out Alt Reporter. Go subscribe to them too. I'll put the link in the description or something maybe. This deadly COVID twist is like nothing we've seen before. The new BQ 1.1 subvariant. What? I mean, it never stops. And shout out to BQ. Those are the trains I used to catch back in Brooklyn. But that was on October 11th. They posted this on October 11th, and then on 5 days ago. So it's hard for me to see. There's like a weird glare here, but about a week later, they posted the nightmare COVID variant that beats our immunity is finally here. It's like, dude. And then we have other outlets saying things like, why are the kids so sad? It's because you muzzled them with a mask for 2 years and then told them that they should cut their penis off, and then you told them that the sun was going to kill them, and then you wonder why they're sad. What is happening here? This is insane. So, I'm sorry, it's absolute insanity, and I wish I could just turn it off. I wish I could just not look at it anymore, but it's like a train wreck. You have to continue to watch it, and you got to keep your enemies closer, you know what I'm saying? And then there's this one. This is the last one I'm going to do. But maybe more live streams if I figure out how this works and get more people watching. But this is the last one for tonight, right? From ABC News a couple days ago. Looks like 8 days ago. Sorry, the glare is weird, but after declining to show police her ID, she says she was pulled out of her car, slammed against the trunk, and put in handcuffs. Now her lawyer says he's filing a federal lawsuit on her behalf. And of course, there's a nice smiling young woman outside of her car. She could never have done anything wrong. I mean, they want to thrust you into a race war. And for the record, whatever happened to Jussie? Jussie was supposed to go to jail, then he got out of jail, and they were going to wait for an appeal. Whatever happened to that? Can we get an update? Who's going to give me an update on Jussie? He's tried to start a race war and lied about the entire thing, maintained the story, and because he's friends with Kamala Harris, he got out. And this news outlet is trying to do the same thing. And of course, it's not new, but they put this pretty little picture of this young girl on here and tell this horrible story about how she didn't show her ID, right? So if you're driving the car, you probably want to go ahead and show your ID. Why did you not do that? And the caption is, a 22-year-old woman alleges that she was assaulted by police and unlawfully handcuffed after she declined to show officers' identification. She was released shortly after and never charged with any crime. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think they intimidated her because she's a person of color, her attorney said. I mean, it just never stops. Right? I mean, she's a person of color. That's why they targeted her. No, it's because she was probably swerving down the road or driving too fast and didn't have her driver's license, didn't have her ID. That's probably what happened. But they're going to put this little high school graduation photo up there like she's an absolute angel. She was probably smoking blunts and blasting YG out of the car. I'm just saying, we don't know. And then they want to pretend like she never did anything wrong. And the only reason this happened to her is because she's a person of color. It's absolute nonsense, right? I mean, how is it that George Floyd's family wants to sue Kanye West? I mean, he's a person of color, right? I mean, the color card, it's expired. It's gone. It doesn't work anymore. We can see right through it. We've moved on to maybe like illegal immigrants and transgenders, and they get the stuff. But what's happening here is absolutely despicable. They're trying to ruin, and again, I guess this has been going on for so long, it reached a tipping point at Rona, at COVID, and now they've dug their heels in so deep with the Rona propaganda that, of course, they can't come back and say, all right, you know, maybe we were a little heavy-handed on that. They have to double down, they have to triple down, they have to quadruple down, they extend the state of emergency until February, and my guess is it'll get this. It's never gonna end. It's absolutely never gonna end. I don't know how we put a stop to it. I'm trying. I can't stay silent anymore. So, good luck to me. I guess good luck to you. We're gonna do more live streams. Follow my Instagram and maybe I'll get a schedule or something so that I can do this regularly and people will actually show up. But until next time.